so many people.
Yeah, who was the person that helped him? Oh, was it Joao that helped him with those great computer graphics for the card?
Yeah. and Culver says about Joao's ability on Pages, the word processing application on Macs, that he's good at computers.
Yeah.
Which is a very potato farmer thing to say. Like, are you an old potato farmer? Hey, he's pretty good at computers, so I gave him the card duties.
I thought,
what the fuck? Hi, hello, and welcome aboard another brand spanking new episode of another Below Deck podcast. My name's Dylan. I'm saddled up next to one, Patrick Hickey.
Great to be here. Permission to come aboard.
Granted. White Claw tonight, huh?
Oh, yes.
Kalen.
Yes.
Hi.
What's up, dude?
Not much. How are you doing?
I'm well. I love this show so much.
Me too.
It's so fantastic. Not just... when you compare it to like the pantheon of reality television, I'm not talking about Legacy. I mean, obviously, what was that episode of Housewives where they all go to the place and everything gets crazy and Bethany Frankel says, take a Xanax? You know, like there are obviously like Mount Rushmore.
Is that why I had sex with a pirate?
Something like that. Don't be uncool. I'm not talking about moments and I'm not being very clear right now. What I'm trying to say is this reality television show, compared to other Bravo shows, is just as good as other Bravo shows.
Dare I say better?
It's phenomenal.
I will put, first off, let's all admit this to ourselves. Summer House and Winter House suck. They absolutely are not nearly as entertaining as a single standalone episode of Below Deck.
A Requiem plays for Carl and Lindsay. Who could have seen that coming? But we're not here to talk about those
Absolutely
bad
not.
shows.
I hate those shows.
I hate those shows.
I want to say this too, Dylan, and add on to this. God, I hope Down Under comes back. I have a bad feeling that we won't see that franchise again. I just have a bad feeling. But
I have a bad feeling that somebody told us that it wasn't coming back, and I have a bad feeling that me and you were both like, upon hearing that, what? How does that make any sense? The show's so good.
First off, I think we can all agree as barnacles or listeners to this podcast, most of us would say 2 episodes a night, little too much. But that being said, that's the only thing that takes away from my enjoyment of this particular season is 2 episodes I have to swallow in a single night. I mean, the storylines are crazy, amazing casting. I mean, look, there's been some terrible things that have happened too, but you could learn a little bit about things too. It's been a crazy ride. Although, Dylan, I must tell you, I am very concerned. I think we got like 2, maybe 3 episodes left. I'm concerned that we are on the way down. You know what I mean? We didn't see Margot lose her job. I'm happy for that. I like Margot a lot. Zarina and Joao have now consummated their little relationship.
Margot's a good sport. I'm excited to call her drunk tonight. It'll be fine. I mean, if there was any reason to, or if there was ever a reason to drink, she has a good one. But, anyways.
Yeah. But, you still gotta, the rules are rules. You're not supposed to be drunk while you're on a shift, I
feel like the Native Americans cursed that soil. They're all drunks up there,
Well, anyway, am I getting into my thoughts and not still in? Well, let me just put this out there. I am concerned. I think there's 2 episodes left and then a reunion. What did we do? 14, 15 last night? Then there's 16, 17. Yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah.
I think this is gonna just kind of grind down to a very, very slow conclusion to this season.
All right, well, Grim Reaper, but how did you feel about this episode?
But
before you say that, let's get into public service announcements because we've got a lot coming.
A lot.
Okay, so Netflix has, like a Beyonce drop, dropped the Bunyan that is After the Altar on Netflix. 3 episodes, all bad. Patrick and I will be, hilariously bad.
Netflix is daring you to hate this show. I mean, their show, Love is Blind. Yeah. They're daring you. You go.
Dare and or truth or challenge accepted. Me and Pat will be breaking the entire thing down in a very kind of formless way at patreon.com /another podcast network. You know when you have a water burp, it's like it's not due to carbonation. It's just I'm
it's
just
the
drinking
body
water.
Needs to happen.
Yeah. But Netflix season 5 is coming. We will be covering that at patreon.com/another podcast network. We'll give you guys some crumbs. We'll do some free episodes here and there, but most of it will be behind a paywall. Also behind a paywall is our season 1 coverage. Below Deck OG. We just dropped an episode with the devil herself, Chief Stew Adrian.
Ooh, some tea on that episode.
Yeah, a lot of tea there. A lovely and at times uncomfortable interview with one Adrian, who is Adrian. iTunes ratings and reviews, socials, all that stuff. Let's get into the episode. Pots and Knots.
Okay. I always wondered what happens when someone like dies on a yacht, right? You know, because they have limited medical skill set. I guess what did Captain Hot Pants say they have?
I love the start of this episode. Outside of the guy having a seizure or dying, I love the tinfoil route we can go down. I combined route and road. We never saw that guy again. They say that he didn't die.
He doesn't come back at the end?
But he does not come back.
His name was Josh, I think.
They were like, that happens to him all the time. Has he gotten a CAT scan? That's fucking insane that happens. Anyways, go ahead.
Okay. And then also there was the Margot drama. Would she be fired? Would she not be fired? I was betting that she would because, you know, you're not supposed to be fucking getting loaded while you're doing service.
I mean, loaded. In Daisy Jones and the Six Shades, loaded.
But alas, it happened. And then, of course, we have the setup, I believe, at the tail end of the episode of the Will You Be My Girlfriend proposal.
One of the greatest things I've seen on the history of the show. In the history. Wrong word, but my God.
Oh, and Culver, you can tell your parents to stop leaving us 1-star reviews on Below Deck. I know that's your family, Captain Leg. Go ahead. I can read between the lines. You know, you guys are not funny. You're hurtful to people on the show. We get it. Culver, tell mommy to lay off us, okay?
It's all out of love, Keem. It's all out of love.
Okay, decent episode, 70 knots.
I thought it was an incredible episode. We saw somebody die. That's a first. That's unbelievable. We also saw Culver hold a woman at gunpoint. Listen, I'm always a fan of a check yes or no. I think it's cute. But not this one. This one was strange to me. Those two, I'm excited to get into the dynamic of their relationship over the course of our breakdown of these 2 episodes because we've got 2 very, very fucking weird people. Very weird people. I called her Shelob last episode. She is peak Shelob in this week.
And by the way, I hadn't caught that reference when you mentioned it on the last podcast. Yeah. Very apt. Very apt.
So apt.
You nailed it, dude.
So apt. My God. But yeah, the second episode of this week, she's like, you're not going in the hot tub. You're getting in that room and you're giving me that dick. You're like, oh my God, what the fuck is going on here? Keith Stone? But yeah, amazing first episode. We'll get into it, but I just have to say, one of the reasons why this season is so good is because there have been peaks of dramatic tension, some very, very upsetting, some hilarious, like Culver throwing a fit when he couldn't find the blender, but it's more the Elmer's kind of foundation that this entire fucking crew has. They're just lovely. I mean, I wouldn't call them family because they're sea rats and they don't really have loyalty, but Harry, Luca, Serena, Margot, Aisha, Hot Captain, thick ass Hot Captain, they're all coming together in such a fucking amazing way. This is why people fell in love with Rachel and Zoe and whoever else was on the show, Joey and whoever else was on the show. There is a Friends type of cohesion here that is just so lovely.
Yes, I agree.
99 pots. Kalen?
I thought it was quite a good episode, 79 knots.
You know, I was listening back to the other one. I took way too long to get into the episode then.
Oh,
I
you
just
did
it again. It was just
I don't
crazy.
think so. I think all of this, I wouldn't change a thing or cut anything. I mean, I think it was just all needed to really set up what's going on in the Another Podcast Network universe here, Dill.
Let's get into it.
If you don't mind, Dill, may I start off? Because I'd like to start off with an observation. Well, the guest receives immediate medical attention from the crew. And although I appreciated a number of the crew members being trained in medical aid, I was terrified to learn that it would be 25 minutes until a medic could make it to the boat. Dare I say, if there was an actual heart attack or something more serious, at that point, you just call for a body bag,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
25 minutes, that's a long time.
Right. It's like if you get bit by a snake, really anywhere where you can get bit by a snake that could really bite you, there's no point in, 25-minute response time. I get it. You're in the middle of the ocean, but the things that this guy had to go through, he seized or had a heart attack on this boat, was rallied around. We have Hot Captain Jason saying, we're medically trained, not that good. And then when he is brought back to life, he has to jump over. He has to get on a boat from another boat. Like, God forbid anything serious happens to you on one of these vessels. It's not good. You got a bunch of fucking sea rats defibrillating you. It's not good.
25 minutes, eh? Oh, just bring a body bag then.
Yeah.
A big one.
Yeah. Sorry, I have to pull up my notes.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
By the way, you pointed out at the top of the show, Dill, this isn't this guy's first rodeo with nearly dying while hanging out with his buddies.
Yeah.
Watch out there, Josh. Your friend should get a life insurance policy on your ass. And then when you're partying with them, they can joke around and go, don't drink too much tonight, Josh.
Okay.
I might be a millionaire next month. You know what I'm saying?
So Hot Captain is just like, we're not trained to do this. And I was just thinking, like, obviously not. Like, you're Hot Captain, you're better at plowing yachts into marinas than you are saving this guy's life. But then after all of it takes place, there's this really sad moment with Aisha where she's, heartbroken at the sight of this because of what she's been through. I'll say it again. Aisha, she's been through so much in life, and she has come out the other side such a wonderful human being, because life can turn people into bitter pieces of shit.
Oh, Aisha's we make fun of her. I have a nickname for her. I call her Kermit.
Yeah.
Hey, Dill, can we have a little improv where you play Kermit? Can you?
Okay.
You just I'm the dinner guest, and then we just went through all this,
Okay.
and then you tell me that you also had a family member that suffers from seizures. I'm having one right now. Can you do that?
Okay, so we're gonna do improv.
Yeah, I promise it won't
and
be
you
mean.
want me to?
Yeah, you're Kermit.
Okay.
Yeah. Just tell me you can relate.
Hey. How are you?
Good.
How's the steak and lobster?
Well, we don't have any.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. I have experience with seizures.
Yeah, great. Show must go on. Let's get some plates in front of us.
Okay. So I wanted to ask you how you feel, or how you felt about their can-do attitude after their friend died.
Show must go on.
Yeah, dude. It was so
He
funny.
wanted that way.
They get a call. Oh, Ernie would want us to have a good time. And that guy's name was Ernie. It was Josh. Does not fit that guy. But yeah, the one dude gets a call, I think, from the guy at the hospital, and he's just like, oh, he's 40% better. All right, well, yeah, you can call us if you want. I mean, I don't know. We're going to keep spinning the wheel.
You have to. You really do. I think it's a more evolved attitude towards death.
Yeah.
I mean, the booze is here. He's not,
But this is when they talk about how they've seen him do this before, and I don't know if he has like epilepsy or something, but if you've seen this twice, you should not have that dinner. The wheel should not be spun again, because we've got a serious fucking problem. And here we go with the Margot the drunk kind of ball rolling down the hill.
a few chugs of that vino.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Can I explain to Margot how to be a proper drunk while cameras are filming you?
Yeah.
Okay, Margot, listen up. Actually, this is for all fucking sea rats.
Yeah.
Put an empty coffee mug in the sink when you pour out the glasses to the cameras and us as an audience will look like you're pouring the red wine down the sink, but it's actually into a mug. You can then sip on that mug. You feel.
Whoa.
I didn't mean that for Margot.
Okay. I was writing my notes. I was like, I think I might be going a little hard on her. And then you. So now I feel pretty alleviated.
Okay. It's Margot. It's a life hack. It's a C-Rat hack.
I got a better idea.
Yes.
You know the soap dispenser?
Oh, yeah.
You wash that thing out good, right? And then you just go under and you squirt it in your mouth every once in a while and just
not
get
as
a
good as the
taste.
coffee mug. Wow.
No, I think it's fun. I think it's a good way to get around that whole thing where the cameras capture you drinking a lot in the middle of a shift. So, it's going to be a crab summer roll with mango sauce for dinner. The word sauce should be used in a couple different places. Taco Bell, Guy Fieri restaurants, delis, stuff like that. At least delis will say dressing. Let's call this a reduction, a gastric, something.
That.
Let's just not go with
it.
mango sauce, right? Because it's not a Guy Fieri's Hell Raisin Kitchen at LAX.
I agree. Watch Chopped more. They have fun with the way they explain, the dinners and whatnot.
Serena knows how to throw a word on that.
Of course she does. Yeah. What do you call it? A reduced reduction into a, what do they call it? Where they break down something. So they say it's supposed to be
molecular gastronomy?
No. Where they're like a deconstructed. They love that word, deconstructed.
Yeah.
It's a deconstructed cake. It looks like a bunch of fucking crumbs on a plate to me.
Yeah.
All right, anyway, let me do a meanwhile here, Dylan.
Okay.
Meanwhile, Captain Lego Head has somehow found himself back in the good graces of Zarina because he's picking away at those food samples there.
Yeah.
Can someone tell this asshole this ain't Costco, okay? Get the fuck to work.
All right. Well, also, I was heartbroken to see Serena humoring this and feeding Lego Head the way that she has been. Private school girl sees this and is despondent. She's very, very upset that Culver would go into the galley and proceed to eat as opposed to checking in on her after witnessing someone die.
Now, I have a few theories on this.
Yeah.
While Culver continues on his useless tour, because he will make his way back to Jermaine, I think, in the laundry room. The idea of Zarina now being kind of cordial with Culver is because she's fucking moved on. She is now rubbing Joao's balls, and the sexual chemistry is off the charts. So now she can have a little fun fucking with her once competitor, which is Jermaine.
Oh, love that.
So welcome him in and torture her a little bit because you've moved on. It's the best of both worlds.
Oh, interesting. The tables hath turned is what you're saying.
Yes.
So the wheel is spinning. The Coco Lopez cans are getting cracked. We have been on a bit of a tirade on Culver, and I will take ownership over that because it's mostly me who gets non-communicatively angry when I'm talking about Culver, which is my own problem.
It's okay.
But he is getting a bad edit, I will say. They take every opportunity to show him not working and eating something.
May I also, the dagger through the heart, it's worth mentioning he was our resident quote-unquote foodie, a self-described one, in fact, who had no clue what a fucking palate cleanser was. They didn't have to put that in the show, but they did because they're like, do you dislike him a lot? Would you like to dislike him more?
Yeah. I think that's us doing a little sewing together rather than the edit, but yeah, he's a foodie who doesn't know what hollandaise and palate cleanser is. But to Serena, why would you give Culver a palate cleanser? What kind of feedback are you going to get back there? It's not yummy the way that a steak is. Culver likes steak.
Yes.
Culver's not interested in some kind of zest-forward palate cleanser. But him getting a bad edit means one of two things. Production didn't like him. Or it's worse than we could ever imagine. In which case, it's worse than we could ever imagine. I don't know what the two forks are. I just think he got a bad edit, which probably means that he's worse.
Yeah. it could. Yeah. If you fuck with production, they'll get back at you with an edit.
Yeah. So I don't know. I feel bad that we've been so hard on him.
Well, look, we've backed off a little bit this episode, I think.
Why would you waste a palate cleanser on a fucking tongue-blind moron? You know what? You're right. All right. So Private School Girl and him have a very boyfriend-girlfriend melodramatic conversation. And it just makes me want to throw up because Joao and Serena are not any, gold standard of communication between men and women. But I guess it's because they're older. I don't think they're much older. You compare and contrast the two different kinds of conversations that those two couples have throughout this 2 episodes, and it's just insane. One is like nuanced, actually trying to talk about what their feelings are, breaking it up with a little bit of humor and levity.
I like their banter.
And then you've got Culver and Private School Girl, and it's just this like, are you both in 5th grade kind of thing? Alan in Wonderland, that is a big problem. You agree though, right?
I do. It's so much more fun watching Zarina and JWoww interact as opposed to Culver and Jemay.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun watching her swallow him down and shit him out.
Yeah. She's already injected him with that kind of, that thing that courses throughout Fredo. I think it makes you froth. And your eyes turn black. Anyways, Culver says, and I think this is the root cause of why they don't communicate with nuance and banter. Culver says, girls, there's something else. I'm learning every experience more about them. He is Bill Shakespeare. He is a romantic, and he is going to try to figure out how to ask this girl that he has known for 9.5 days to be his girlfriend. And I, for one, cannot fucking wait to see it. Next day.
Next morning.
Serena is shoving her ass into Joao, calling people sluts, and Nico married Nico. We didn't talk, or Luca, excuse me, married Luca. We didn't talk about this. I think it's moot because he wasn't married at the time.
Correct.
But now he's married. No below deck for this young man. And it's sad because I think he's funny and I think he's hot.
He's definitely not on the next season of Med. Did I see him?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he is on the next season of Med.
Yeah.
But I hope he's not. If he's married on a season of this show.
Oh, I will lose my mind. I will. You can only be married if you're a captain. That's rules. Those are the rules of.
That's a cardinal sin. Casting a married C-Rat. And I know production's like, oh, this is a bit of a freak show. We've got one that actually found roots in someone, but it's not entertaining, All right, so moving on, we get to Margot getting a text from cool Luke.
All right, well, we don't want to get in trouble.
Yeah, I don't know where to go with this because you're right, but also, so he didn't rape anybody.
No.
Right?
No.
But he would have any.
Well,
you know what I mean? So cool guy. If I text her, kind regards. No, listen, we didn't see him do anything. Obviously, everybody gets the benefit of the doubt unless you wear bucket hats and Crocs and try to. She gets a text from him that says, I'd like you to hear me out, kind regards. So this sends her into a bit of a spiral. Pat's so uncomfortable right now. We can talk about it after the show. We'll talk about bleeping, cutting. We'll do all that stuff.
Of course. It's just very sensitive material.
Very sensitive. So breakfast is served. Josh, he does that all the time. Josh is back in Melbourne. Kind of an all dogs go to heaven kind of thing. Or maybe he did go back to Melbourne.
Lots of meanwhiles here.
Oh, yeah.
Serena and JWoww continue to flirt. I don't think this was the scene where he literally has her legs spread laying on a shared, I believe this is where they all have their lunches table.
Yeah.
Luca and Jemay chat. I think there's a little heat here. I think we saw some in the trailer that she'd prefer a guy like Luca over Culver.
Yeah, and this is where you could see that Culver has pissed them off. She's talking about how she thinks that Luca's hot and that she usually goes for guys like him, and that they cut to Culver Bradbury eating a fucking burrito the way that he does.
Well, she also says, Dylan, you forgot the best part. She said she normally likes guys who don't live with their mother.
Yeah.
Ouch!
Culver, when he eats, goes into this kind of fugue state. Like his eyes glaze over, and it's like he inwardly concentrates on the process of consumption and digestion. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like he turns into a snake. It's so weird. Mm-hmm. I've never seen somebody focus so much on bites. Because usually you just eat, like you're talking or you're working on
Sometimes
something.
I don't even think about it.
He transports himself into another plane. All right. So
boat heads to another location. Now, I hate to see this. What do they call it? It's a slit? What do they call it?
Slip.
A slip.
A slip.
Basically, it's a disappearing island.
Oh, no. That's they just call that a disappearing island.
Oh, they do?
Yeah, no, the slip is where they pull the boat into. I didn't know what you were talking about.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, so we saw this once, but apparently this is now going to be a thing. So I think by the end of the next episode, it will be the third time they visited the disappearing island.
Yeah, That's cool.
It is, but it was more cool just seeing it the first time.
Yeah.
You unoriginal bastards.
Yeah. It's like they're making Gladiator 2. Mm-hmm. Why? You know? You going to go see Snow White, Kalen?
Sure.
He's got kids.
Yeah. I just know he constantly comes in here ranting about Rachel Ziegler.
There's this trailer for a horror movie, Kaylin. You might know this, where there's a hand on a table and you touch the hand.
I told you about this.
I tried to rent it last night. It said it's unavailable.
It's not available yet, but baby sister Ruby Pie Dog Girl, she goes to see movies all the time. She said, I think it's called Talk to Me or something.
I told you about that 2 weeks ago.
You did? I'm hearing it from everybody. I gotta see it.
It's supposed to be fantastic, and it's supposed to be truly horrifying. Yeah.
I'm in.
Bone-chilling stuff. I think there's a scene with an eyeball. Gets pretty gory. Yeah. I saw the directors talking about it on Logan Paul's podcast. The podcasting world is so fucking weird.
Oh, Captain Lee just entered, threw his hat into the game.
That's true. And I also want to just say this. And I sound like a douchebag making this clarification, but just in case anybody's confused, I'm not a Logan Paul podcast listener. I don't. When I say that I saw them, I didn't. I just saw that they were doing it. Okay. Yeah. So,
Serena prepares food for a quote unquote good time. I don't know.
Well, can we really quickly talk about Adam takes a nasty little crossbow bolt from Harry. Harry says it's much better having Luca on board.
Yeah.
Because I don't have to fear for my life every morning when I wake up, which is like, it's a fine and sensible thing to say. But also, I mean, come on, Brooklyn just left the boat.
Yeah.
It's sad.
You guys are probably Instagram buddies, you know?
And I give Harry a lot of shit, but I also do believe that Harry is a dark horse MVP of this season. He holds so much on his shoulders. He just has these quiet little moments that really kind of unknowingly make an episode a lot better.
Although he's one of those characters when they have the reunion and Andy has, just the 9 boxes.
He'll say 4 words.
He will say 4 words.
4 words.
That's it. He'll be asked to when Andy polls everybody.
Yeah.
Did you guys think it was a problem when Andy nearly killed everybody? Raise your hand. Of course. He'll have his hand up.
Yeah.
And that may be the only thing that he
Andy will
contributes.
ask him what it's like being so tall and about Speedos, and then that'll be it. He won't ask him another thing. All right, so the Margot drinking thing, it would be much easier to just call her drunk. She's a good sport. She gets it, but if there was a justifiable reason to drink, she would have it here. Yes. We already said that, but this is this text kind of kicks things off. Where am I?
Okay, so we've gotten the text. We saw her drinking the wine. That was pre-text. Now, you can tell she's not herself at this point. We go to that disappearing beach, and then the guests come back, and they return to Hawaii because that's the theme of the party this evening. Yeah. Culver gives Jamae a shell. That was pretty sweet. And then now back on the boat, Margot's hanging out at a party for one. She's throwing back a couple of those Pina Colada shots.
Right. Now, I don't blame her because Pina Coladas are perfect cocktail. I love a Pina Colada. If you have more than two, you'll shit your pants, but they're very, very powerful and they're very, very delicious drinks. And if Coco Lopez is getting cracked open and Coco Lopez is, involved in the Pina Colada making process, I'm getting fired because I'm going to take a nip every once in a while too. You know what I mean? I mean, they're that good.
Yeah, but
they're the milkshake equivalent. They're good. They're really good.
Right. Well, as you pointed out when you started this, Dylan, you will be shitting yourself all night though. So that is definitely a drawback.
Are you kidding me? Mm-hmm. It's all like high fructose coconut fucking lacquer. That cannot pass through your intestines successfully. So Luca looks great. Margot's we I don't know why I put the note Luca looks great. Margot is at this point nuked. I mean, not quite like Sea Rat Night Out nuked, but Serena is like, "Can you taste this, please?" And she takes a spoonful of pineapple fried rice, and Margot's just like, "Oh man." She's like, "Does it taste like something?" She's like, "Oh my God, yeah, it tastes like something." She starts flopping into the sink like Gumby and knocking shit over, and Aisha's like, "Hey, Margot." She has to like ask her, Are you blackout drunk right now?
Okay, so the show, they pick their favorites with editing. They clearly hate Captain Lego Head, and they clearly are rooting for Margot. Of course, they could not let this go and like just not show this scene. However, I think Margot was way more drunk than they showed in the footage, because for you to pick up, remember, if you're Kermit, you're working your ass off, you're running down, for you to pick up on a coworker it being drunk, more things would have had to have been exhibited from Margot, in my opinion.
Yeah. Because you can sneak a couple nips and be
I've done it. I've done
it. Yeah. It's not a joint. You know, it's not like one hit and everybody can see that you're kind of high. Anyways, ironically lost my train of thought. Aisha is so. One of the reasons why I have so much yummy love for everybody is because mostly the way these two, and to a lesser degree Jason, handled this entire thing. Aisha hated having to go be a rat, but she had to be a rat.
You have to.
And Margot knew that she had to do it. And there was just a game, respect game kind of thing. Like, I completely understand why you had to do it. We'll get into all of it.
Sure,
but this could have been throw Adrian and Millie Illicit in this, and something really nasty goes down.
Now, here's the one thing that I noticed about Captain Hot Pants. He loves to torture people with that wait time on when he's going to render his verdict.
I wanted to ask you about that.
Yeah, I think it is a management style to freak the person out so that it really, because if he just got their side and said, don't worry about it, you're not fired, but don't do it again, slap on the wrist, it wouldn't have the impact. It's almost like the emotional prison of, that's why they when you get a DUI, they make you fucking spend the night in the fucking pokey. Then they make you show up to AA meetings despite the fact you might have just had a couple too many cocktails at the Christmas party. And then they make you pay $3,000. Right. You will never drink and drive again.
Yeah, unless you're from Wisconsin.
That's right.
or Virginia or California, unless you're a drunk.
Right. Yeah. But it weeds out the, what do you call it? The just casual drinkers from the real drunks. You know, the ones that down a bottle of vodka while the cop's pulling them over and then huck it out the window.
Dude, my Uncle Hub has avoided, I think he's beat 4 DUIs. But therein lies the problem. They've not landed. He's slipped out of all of them, so no, he is going to keep hitting deer. And that's sad. Anyways.
So that's what Captain Hot Pants did to Margo.
Yeah, no, 100%. So this move was so interesting. No, it wasn't so interesting. Very few things on the show are so interesting, but Hot Captain, I felt like this is okay to do if you're not going to fire somebody.
Right.
But at that moment, I don't know that he was or wasn't going to fire her. So it was a little odd to have him say, hey, let's go for a quick chat. Like, whoa,
right.
Where the fuck did you come
Because
from?
I'd argue Adam and Margo both had the same stance upon, an egregious act. Adam nearly killed everyone. Margo was drinking on the job.
Right.
He had to sit on it and sleep on it before he could render a decision.
Right.
Yeah. With Adam, yeah. So different outcomes.
But okay, so like here, and all joking aside, when you're out in the water and Ernie has a seizure and goes down, Margo, if she's like as shit-faced as she was, she could like trip and fall and like knee him in the face and just be like, "Whoa, why are you drooling?" Like it's dangerous. Or
imagine Hot Pants not knowing Margo's intoxicated and said, "Margo, get in the tender. You're driving."
Yeah,
right. And then she hits a fucking what do you call it? A dolphin.
Big seal.
Yeah, there you go.
So,
okay, I want to remind the audience. Last season, Culver, Captain Lego Head, he also drank.
Oh, yeah.
But I think it was a different circumstance. Captain Hot Pants had said the crew, for whatever reason, could have 1 cocky. And then he caught Culver having like 5.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. Well, dinner. And Margo's very... another thing that's so admirable about the way she handled the situation, she was buzzed, so that it helps, but she was very calm about what she could be meeting on the other side of the evening.
Can I tell you what else I appreciated, Margo? I like someone who doesn't exaggerate or underscore what really took place. He asked her a direct question, have you been drinking and what did you drink?
Yeah.
And she copped to the Pina Coladas, and I thought she was gonna, that red wine thing, I thought she was gonna put that under the rug.
Yeah.
She did not.
She said I drank wine too.
Yes, she did.
God damn. Booze will give you a lot of confidence to be transparent. Mm-hmm. I think it probably would have been better if she concealed it. Mm-hmm. But it would be impossible to, because like we said, when you're noticeably drunk, what are you going to go, I had like a half a beer? That's ineffective gaslighting. No. All right, so dinner is, of course, rice, surf, and turf. It's fun. I love Serena.
Mm-hmm. I do too.
The food's the food.
I think she's doing a good job.
She's doing a good job.
I like her,
72 pots.
I like her breakfast and lunch layouts.
Best platters we've ever seen on the show.
Yeah, there's
Best
a lot
platters.
of love put into those things.
So, Aisha and Margo say goodnight to each other, and this is where this moment here, this fucking Fredo and Michael kind of moment.
Are you talking about Kermit and Hot Pants talking?
No, I'm talking about Kermit and Margo talking.
Oh, okay.
Where Margo knows that Aisha hath betrayed her, and and Aisha knows that she knows, and they're both saddened by it, but they're so sweet and professional towards one another about it. They just 10 out of 10, no splash.
Mm-hmm. Did we ever know who put the bullet in the back of Fredo's head while they were out fishing, or was that because that was just a dark figure he was fishing with?
No, I'm not a big. I mean, I love The Godfather. It's like they're perfect movies, but there are these people that have seen them 75,000 times.
They could tell us.
They know every single fat Italian guy's name in the movie. Paulie. So Cap and Aisha have a little chat, good conversation about Margo being a good person, and they just shrug their shoulders. And they're like, She's a fucking sea rat. What are you going to do? She's a goddamn sea rat. This is the next day. Sorry about hosting, but croque madames are served, and the deck team is humming. Margot wakes for her last day aboard this converted fishing vehicle, and Joao and Serena have a very different conversation.
Yeah, do we ruin our sea rat friendship over tossing ourselves into each other?
Yeah.
Or do we maintain this sea rat friendship?
Yeah.
I, of course, was like, get a room already. I mean,
Right.
who cares?
And they do. They do get a room, and they have sex with each other like 5 times.
Mm-hmm. Good for them.
I mean, that sounds exhausting. I don't know how either one of them have the stamina for that. It would stand to reason.
I haven't had the stamina since the 90s.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. It's a young man and woman's game doing that kind of silly stuff. Jackrabbit shit in the top bunk. You guys are over 30. How the fuck do you have the wherewithal? Unbelievable. So let's get to the ick.
Yes. Culver involves the help of Kermit for his girlfriend proposal.
He involves the help of so many people.
Yeah, who was the person that helped him? Oh, was it Joao that helped him with those great computer graphics for the card?
Yeah. and Culver says about Joao's ability on Pages, the word processing application on Macs, that he's good at computers.
Yeah.
Which is a very potato farmer thing to say. Like, are you an old potato farmer? Like, what? He's pretty good at computers, so I gave him the card duties.
I thought
what the fuck?
I thought my lovely wife Cherie was asleep, and I heard her say out loud, which said, "He sounds old."
Yeah, he sounds like I don't know how you can go through life just at his age, like to say somebody's pretty good with. Anyways, he's an odd duck, but. Aisha and Joao's support of Culver in this is criminal, I think. Negligently criminal. And if they cared about him, Aisha, I think, is just a cuckoo head who really loves this.
Yes, she does.
But Joao, as a man, should be like, you know, if he cared about Culver, he'd be like, you want me to do what? But no, there's this network of, you know, pushing Culver out there, and getting him to do it, and I'm so appreciative of all of that, because what we saw unfold was,
he has a pamphlet with a yes or no.
Yeah, you know when I get butthole cramps?
Yeah,
that's what this scene makes people do. You know, you just kind of seize up because you want to run away, but you're also Clockwork Orange peeled open to all the horror that you're witnessing. So anyways, what happens?
Oh, well, we wrap up the episode. Boat parks, guests depart, 1,800 large. That's $1,450 each. Margot gets the fucking helmet. Wraps up the proposal prep. And he's got a little VU in there.
Yeah.
And then he hands her that pamphlet with the yes or no questionnaire. And he's composed quite a tome of love on that goddamn card. And I think that's where we leave it, Dylan.
All right, well, that's it for us. Jump in the iTunes ratings and reviews. Leave 5 stars, kind words. Join us on Patreon for lots of good stuff. Season 1. What was the other Below Deck thing we had? Oh, no, it's Love is Blind and Below Deck is behind the paywall there.
Jesus, what a big week for Patreon. Get over there and sign up because you get 3 shows a week now. You're going to get Love is Blind, Season 1 of Below Deck, and then Dylan and I do a show once a week called Another Podcast.
Yeah, 3 shows a week at patreon.com/Another Podcast Network. I'm Dylan saying goodbye. Pat, say goodbye.
Later, dude.
Kaylin. See ya.